Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan, and as promised, guys, I have got a wildcard draft template, whatever you want to call it. I've got a wildcard squad for you guys to use if you want to use it. Now, I can't stress enough for you guys, I am not using my wildcard this week. I'm not using it. I'm going to use my wildcard in Gameweek 8. I am 99% sure about that. But I know a lot of you guys are looking to use the wildcard, particularly with the injury news we've had. You're kind of worried about a few of your players being injured for the game week and you want to just get a fresh start. I completely understand. You want this fresh start. Hopefully, I can give you a team that I would personally use if I were to wildcard in, ahead of game week 6, I guess. So hopefully this is going to be a perfect wildcard team for you guys. And if you do like it, please do like the video. And if you want to subscribe as well, then that would be massively appreciated. Do click that subscribe button. But before we go any further, a quick word from our sponsor for today's video. And this video has been very kindly sponsored by Skillshare, an online learning community with thousands of classes for both creative and curious people. Now, this platform is great for someone like me who has recently become self-employed for the first time ever. And I kind of want to learn some new skills. I want to improve my existing ones with what I'm doing and kind of get better at what I do. So, for example, I recently watched a video class from Thomas Frank. No, not the Brentford manager, the YouTuber. And he's got a great class on productivity that is kind of helping me improve my workflow a little bit. I really do love how the classes work with Skillshare. They're kind of broken up into segments, so you don't have to take the whole class at once. You don't have to take the class at a specific time or anything like that. Just hop in and out whenever you want. There are no ads, and many of the online classes are taught by some familiar faces from the online world as well. So, guys, the first 1,000 people to click on the link in the top of my description will get a free and absolutely completely free 1 month trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. So guys, if you have any interest in Skillshare, and trust me, you should if you're anything like me, go claim your free trial before they're all gone. Doing so, of course, massively supports the channel. So guys, here is the blank pitch. We've got a blank start. If you're using your wildcard, you're going to have a very, very much a blank start. A few things to remember before I start off and start putting players on the pitch. First of all, I've tried to get a budget of around 100 million. I know a few of you guys will have a little bit more of that budget. I know a few of you guys may potentially have a little bit less as well. But hopefully, most of you guys will be able to afford this team as a base, and then you can improve upon it, switch things about a little bit to whatever suits you guys, I guess. Next, I guess this video is not just for wildcarders, guys. If you see the players that you see in this video, these are players that you should be targeting long term. You know, these are players that you want in your team. Every player that I put on this pitch are players that I really like the look of from now until, well, forever. Because guys, another key thing to remember is that with this wildcard team, not all of these players are going to have amazing fixtures immediately, and that's what we got to kind of remember a little bit. Because when we're going for a wildcard, we do have to have a few of those set and forget players in there, because this wildcard, remember guys, you're not going to be able to have another wildcard. You're not going to be able to press the reset button again until, you know, you're unlikely to press the reset button again until, you know, January, February. So this team has got to last you a long time. So it's key to remember to keep those key long-term players in there and not just focus on players that have immediately good fixtures. So, you know, you're going to see a couple of players that are very much set and forget that I really like. But guys, without further ado, let's start slapping some players on the pitch. And we're going to start you off with Aaron Ramsdale. Now, you guys laughed at me when I said a couple of weeks ago maybe we should start thinking about going for some Arsenal defenders ahead of the games against Norwich and Burnley. You said, no way are we going for Arsenal defenders. It's not going to happen. It's no point. Look, guys, Arsenal are a difficult team. They're a bit of a meme team, and I kind of get that. They are a bit of a meme right now, right? That's fine. But the defensive numbers that they were putting up at the end of last season were really, really good. They have a really nice run of fixtures, really favourable fixtures there where they can keep some clean sheets. I think they are going to massively improve on their defence, and I think the opening few fixtures didn't really paint a full story. Now, I don't want to say that Arsenal are suddenly going to be a good team, because I don't believe that is true, but you can get Ramsdale for 4.5 million. You're getting 4.5 million for the starting goalkeeper of a top Premier League side historically. I guess they're still a top half side. You know, as much as we want to joke or whatever, they are going to end up being in a much higher position by the end of the season as they are right now. And you can get on their goalkeeper, their new starting goalkeeper, who has been brought in for a lot of money and for a very cheap price ahead of some very nice fixtures. So I definitely think it's a good one to go for. If you don't like it, of course, you can always just go for a Sanchez or something like that. But I do still like the cheaper goalkeeper, so that's what I'd be going for there. On to defence, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, this is kind of what I mean by play, don't just think about the fixtures, because we know that Man City are going to be the oppositions of Liverpool, in game week 7. You're probably thinking, well, maybe we don't go for Trent Alexander-Arnold right away, but you do. He's one of those players who is set and forget. I've hyped him up enough, over the last few days, over the last few weeks, as a player who, is a player you just have. You just have to have him at the end of the day. So don't even think about trying things out without Trent. You have to have him. He is putting out the very best creative numbers in the entire league, despite the fact that he's a defender, despite the fact that he's actually missed a game in this season already due to illness. When he's fit, he's going to play pretty much every single game for Liverpool as well. So he's going to be playing so frequently. He is going to be constantly producing the best creative numbers of any player in the whole league. He's going to get the occasional goal there as well, and he's playing for a Liverpool defence who are much improved now. They've got all of their centre backs back. Basically, it's going to be a really improved defence there, and they're going to keep loads of clean sheets, which they are already doing this season. So yeah, there's so many things to like about Trent. I don't even think, don't even try and be clever with it, guys. Just have him in your team. Next up, I've got Cancelo. So yeah, we're going a little bit more premium at the back, and you'll notice, guys, there's been a bit of a trend this year of these defenders scoring some really nice high points. There's been a lot of big defenders scoring over this this season so far. There's been a few clean sheets, and one of the teams who is getting a lot of clean sheets alongside Liverpool is Man City. Now, Man City are actually producing the best defensive numbers in the entire league by a long stretch, and Man City have not exactly had the easiest fixtures so far this season either, and yet they are still producing phenomenal defensive numbers, so much better than every other team in the league. And it's not just a coincidence. They were doing the exact same thing last season. For the majority of last season, Man City were just the best defense to go for. Lots of us were doubled up on the Man City defense. So it seems strange that we'd make a wildcard team without a Man City defender in, because we've got to adapt to it. We've got to get that Man City defense in. If they're performing as well as they are, we want to get in on that. Now, the reason I've gone for Cancelo is because he seems to be pretty much nailed on now. It seems to be Cancelo and Walker as the main fullbacks at the moment, but Cancelo is going to be more nailed on than Walker. Walker's occasionally going to come out the team, which means Cancelo becomes the de facto right back now. So Cancelo, whether he's on the left, whether he's on the right, he is going to be playing pretty much every single game. He seems like one of the most nailed on players in that Man City team right now, which is something that we really like. To get a nailed on player in a Man City team, or at least a nearly nailed on player in a City team, is definitely something that we like. But speaking of players and trying to get a player who's nailed on in a rotation risk team, we've got Antonio Rudiger. Now, out of the Chelsea defenders, and I've kind of been saying this for a few weeks, that out of the Chelsea defenders, the Rudiger is my favourite. He's been my favourite kind of consistently because he's the only guy who seems to actually be nailed on at that left centre-back kind of position. No one else seems to be guaranteed a spot. Literally no one, not even Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Christensen, Reece James. Alonso's going to rotate with Chilwell, I imagine, at some point during the season. But Rudiger, now that Zuma's gone, is kind of completely uncontested at the left centre-back position. So I do think he is going to be playing the vast majority of games. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a rotation, and we do have to cover that with our bench, just that little bit. But Rudiger, yeah, quite nice. Quite a nice player to go for. With these three defenders, we've got three of the best defences, arguably the three best defences in the league, and we can really set and forget these three defenders, which is a really beneficial thing to be able to do. So I really like that. I really like this defence, and I think this defence can get a lot of points. Trent and Cancelo are going to be chipping in with those attacking contributions. Rudiger is going to be nailed on in Chelsea, who many people will consider Chelsea to be the best defence in the league. I still do think on current form, it is Man City, but Chelsea, on over a longer stretch of data, I guess, we're going to see Chelsea going toe-to-toe defensively with Man City as well. So that's going to be pretty big. So, yeah, the big at the back. We're pretty big at the back, guys. We've not got 4 defenders, but we've got 3 really nice defenders. And you're going to see how we're going to be able to afford this without breaking the bank as well. So let's go into midfield. And Salah is our first player. Now, this is not a player who's saving us any money, that's for sure. But he is a player that you absolutely must have. Don't even think about. He's like Trent. When I made this draft, and when I made pretty much any wildcard draft, the first 2 players I put in are Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah, because I don't think you should be going without them, full stop. After that, everyone else builds around that. That's what you do. Salah is a captaincy option pretty much every single week. You're going to be captaining him probably every other week, from now until forever. So definitely a player that you want to have that captain option, to have a player who is in this red hot form right now, and even for Salah's standards, he is in such good form right now. Definitely recommend having him in your team. We've got Rafinha here, which is a little bit cheaper, right? A little bit cheaper. So, you guys may notice that I go, when I add players to these pitches, I go in price order for each position. So I go the most expensive, in this case, midfielder, and then we go for the second most expensive midfielder. So yeah, Rafinha is our second most expensive midfielder. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? You're going to see what I'm trying to get out soon, but when we've filled up the whole pitch. But yeah, just bear with me, guys. So yeah, Rafinha, Leeds have some good fixtures. I do believe that Rafinha is the best FPL asset for Leeds. Look, there was a bit of a debate, I guess, last week, Bamford versus Rafinha, but we saw Bamford's form, he's finishing, he's not quite there, and we saw Rafinha, being very, very creative once again, getting in some good goal-scoring opportunities, scoring a really, really fabulous goal as well. And, at this point, I think we have to kind of concede Rafinha's sort of goal-scoring underlying numbers are about the same as Bamford's. His creative numbers are better than Bamford's. He gets more points for his goal scoring. He gets more points for clean sheets. He's significantly cheaper than Bamford. If you're going to cover the Leeds attack, Rafinha is the answer. I'm sorry. It really, to me, is as simple as that. So we'll move on to Sarr, kind of the most hyped up player in the whole Premier League right now. Or certainly in the FPL community, and for good reason. He played very well against Norwich. He was the key man in scoring goals for against that Norwich team for Watford. And he's got two really nice fixtures on the bounce here as well. Now, this is a kind of a short-term move, and to be honest, I would prefer to go for Sarr if I wasn't on a wildcard and I was planning to wildcard, so I could wildcard Sarr out. But maybe you guys have a little bit of confidence in Sarr. You think he can do the business even in the more difficult fixtures. Liverpool, for example, he has got a good record against Liverpool. If you guys, Liverpool fans, probably won't forget that game a couple of seasons ago. I won't remind you about it too much, but maybe some of you guys have a little bit more faith in Sarr long term, and you can keep him in your team. But for the next 2 game weeks, I think he's going to be pretty crucial to a lot of FPL teams. So for that reason, he's made the wildcard team cut just about. Not really a player I'd want long term though. And finally, we've got Gray here. Everton cover in attack. DCL's not available, so when we play this Norwich game, we do want Gray against there. Gray's a really good price, scoring goals in really red hot form, full of confidence, and doing really well as well. So yeah, Gray's also got Watford in a couple of weeks. Could be another nice fixture for Everton there. So yeah, definitely a lot to like there about Demarai Gray, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree with me there as well. So we'll go into our forwards. We've got Ronaldo first of all, another player who is never in doubt. He's come to the Premier League. He's tearing it up already. His numbers are incredible. The amount he's shooting, the amount of goal-scoring opportunities he's getting. It's not by coincidence. A lot of people will say, he's just scoring tap-ins, but how is he scoring tap-ins? And this is what you've got to look at as well. He's getting into those positions. He is desperate to score. He's desperate to, win penalties, take penalties and stuff like that as well. And there's going to be so many goal-scoring opportunities for him non-stop. Another great captaincy option. You're probably going to want to think about captaining him this week if we're going by, the best on paper captains for this game week. Ronaldo at home against Aston Villa. Definitely something to think about. And, we also have the option here with Ronaldo of swapping him down to a Lukaku in maybe game week 8 or game week 9, something like that. We can trade Ronaldo down to a Lukaku, frees up some funds to maybe potentially upgrade our midfield if we want to do that. And yeah, we quite like the look of doing something like that. When Lukaku's fixtures look really good, so you've got that straight swap option there. You don't have to use multiple transfers to get Lukaku in your team or anything like that. So you have got the option there. We've got Antonio, who is just incredible. He's the GOAT. He's a cheat code. I think I'm kind of bored in a way of talking about Antonio until he scores again, which he will do against Leeds, and then it's going to be a hype train all over again, because I've just been singing his praises non-stop, haven't I, for a long time. But you guys get the idea by now. When he's fit, he's incredible. He is producing the best numbers in the entire Premier League in terms of not just goal scoring, but creativity as well. When combined, it's top. It's so high up there. He's missed a game. He's got minus points one game. He's still the second highest FPL point scorer in the whole of FPL, and it's backed up by underlying numbers as well. It's backed up by performances when you watch him play. Everything looks good. Everything everything has come together for Antonio. It's really looking good. And we're going to finish off the attack here with Alan Saint-Maximin. Good fixtures, starting with Watford. Cheap, amazing form as well. He's tearing it up. He's he's getting in and amongst the goals and assists this season, isn't he? And yeah, he looks really good as well. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are enjoying Saint-Maximin a lot. I certainly am. And yeah, even with the absence of Wilson, I think he's a really good player to have. I like the fixtures a lot of the fixtures anyway. But we don't have to play Saint-Maximin every week. We don't have to play Sarr every week. We don't have to play Gray every week, because let's have a look at the bench, guys. Now, to start off, guys, this is really actually something quite interesting. So obviously I've put Ramsdale as the starting goalkeeper, but I've got Begovic here on the bench, and I know I've put Ramsdale as a starting goalkeeper, and on most weeks you would be starting Ramsdale, right? But in game week 6, and we are really talking about game week 6, you probably wouldn't start Ramsdale, because Ramsdale plays against Spurs. Begovic, on the other hand, Pickford is injured. So Begovic is going to start for Everton, and he's going to start for Everton against Norwich. So one major advantage of this combination is you don't have to worry about this fixture against Spurs for Arsenal, and you could go straight in with Begovic for Everton against Norwich. Straight away, easy, 4 million goalkeeper who is going to be starting for the next few game weeks because of Pickford's injuries. As a pretty good advantage, right, guys? So yeah, that's definitely something you could consider doing. And if I wasn't a wild card, Begovic would absolutely make the squad, and I would start him in this game week as well, because he's got the better fixture than Ramsdale. So yeah, really nice, really something to consider there. Yeah, I like that. But anyway, other players on the bench, we've got Gallagher here. He's nice and cheap, but he's also really good. He's producing some amazing numbers. He's getting good FPL points as well. We really like the look of him a lot, don't we? And he, because of his price, and on the bench here, I've tried to give a little bit of cover. We've kind of seen already this season that having it just a little bit of bench cover would probably have been very useful to have so far this season. And with Gallagher, it's not just about having the bench cover, but also the ability to rotate a little bit. So you can rotate where Sarr, Gray, and Saint-Maximin, they are not looking too hot for a particular fixture. You can bring in Gallagher for those. Gallagher's got good fixtures every week. Crystal Palace have kind of got some dodgy runs of fixture and don't really get a nice clean run of good fixtures for a little while. But yeah, Gallagher for your bench is not too bad of a shout, and you can rotate as necessary. We've got Duffy here, who I think is the best cheap defender. 4.3 million I think he's at now. Maybe he goes up to 4.4 by the end of the week. I'm not sure about that or not, but Duffy is, he's nailed himself in the Brighton team. Brighton are continuing their trend of being one of the best defences. So, you're getting so much for your money here. You really, really are. And, the occasional header or assist is very much appreciated as well from Duffy. That's for sure. And I finished off with Omar Bamadeli. And the reason I've gone for Omar Bamadeli is because he's 3.9 million and he will occasionally play. But honestly, if we're talking about having real nice cover on the bench and real rotation options in case of bad fixtures and stuff like that, or injuries or covering suspensions and things like that, maybe you'd upgrade Omar Bamadeli to someone like, I don't know, Livramento or someone like that. Williams, who's going to be playing a little bit more frequently for Norwich, if you wanted to just pick up 1 or 2 points for an emergency bench option, that's potential there. But he's 3.9 million and he will occasionally play. So if you are trying to save money, this is the way to go, really, in terms of defenders. And yeah, there we go. Let's throw some captains' armbands on. Ronaldo captain for this week, and we'll put the vice captain on Salah for game week 6. Of course, like I said, guys, if we were lining up for game week 6, I would put Begovic on the pitch, but everyone else would be exactly as they are. But yeah, hopefully you really like the look of this team. Do let me know what you think. Remember that this team is for long term, so we're not just thinking about immediate term fixtures. We've got to have a little bit of a balance there between long term fixtures and slightly shorter term. Now, I personally prefer to go for the long term players in defence, because I don't really like using too many transfers on defenders, whereas the attacking players come into form, they come out of form, they get into goal scoring streaks, and they get these nice runs of fixtures. And I would prefer to use the transfers and mix around those more forward minded players, which is exactly why you can see that the defenders here that I've got are very much set and forget kind of defenders. Of course, we've got Salah as set and forget midfielder there, and Ronaldo potentially moves to Lukaku and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of my mindset where I'm thinking with this team. Hopefully you like it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. I would really appreciate that. Even if you're not wildcarding, you just found this video useful, you just like the insight, please do like the video. It really does help out the channel so much. Of course, subscribe if you're new around here. I would massively appreciate that as we march on to 100,000 subscribers. Hashtag road to 100k. You know, we're well and truly on our way to that goal, are we? Aside from that, guys, make sure you check out Skillshare if you want to get a free month. Link in the description. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, links are in the description as well. But aside from that, guys, I will see you on the next one, whether it's a stream or a video or whatever. But look forward to seeing you guys whenever I see you guys next. So see you later, mates. Bye-bye.